We're live on the platforms, X, YouTube, Rumble, about to be live on Rockfin, Facebook, which we haven't been kicked off Facebook yet since the new tranny retard. Okay. The new Beastie Boy Mark Zuckerberg came out with his. He looks like he's auditioning to be a Beastie Boy with this outfit he has. But this is the propaganda report. I'm Brad Binkley, joined here with Ian, and I was gonna have our guest out and then pop her back in, but she's already here. Chrissie Mayr,
I could pop comedian. Back out. I'll pop.
No.
Pop.
Already in. We already spoiled the secret, and I shared it with I made a screen cap. I'm terrible at those, but I was like, we're bringing Chrissie back. Haven't talked to her since shortly after January 6th. I'm going to do a screen image. It was right after the darkest day in American history, as you know.
Mm-hmm. After what number of death, winters of death was that? Was that the second?
That was fresh. It was I think February after the first one. I know we're on the 4th anniversary of that day, which I think it's so stupid. And the anniversary of January 6th, I say it's the 2025th anniversary of January 6th because it's really retarded to act like this is some tipping point in American history, like they want to make it. And you were there yourself. Yeah. Chrissie, by the way, as you guys know who are listening, most of you, I'm sure, as a stand-up comedian, she is the host of the Chrissie Mayr podcast and the Simpcast. And do you have other shows? I know you do a number of shows.
I do a smattering of shows. Those are the two main ones. Yeah, just like interviews with interesting or canceled or misunderstood people here and there whenever I can. I just had a baby 9 months ago. Yes, I'm still saying just.
Yeah. So. Have you interviewed the baby?
You know, I haven't. I mean, I talk to him every day. He's doing a lot of screaming right now. Like he's kind of a little feral.
Like Elon Musk.
Yeah. He just goes around hiling, like
right,
Elon.
Right. I say my heart goes out and I just go straight up
out to Hitler.
Yeah. Right. If anybody, oh my God, people are just so eager to misunderstand him on purpose.
Yes.
And because people are so salty that he's the most one of the richest, one of the most powerful men in the world, and he's on our side, which is nice.
I feel like he was on spring break the past couple of days.
Yeah. He's on cloud 9. I've never seen him happier.
Like Barron Trump was his babysitter.
Yes.
At the inauguration.
Barron is 9 feet tall now. He's thriving.
I think he might be the reincarnation of like Alexander the Great or something.
He's got a real stoicism.
There's when he stood up and didn't move and the crowd went nuts. I was like,
did you see that shit with the ear?
I'm probably going to vote for this guy when I'm 75.
It'll be so interesting to see what he wants to do with his life. Hopefully it's something of note, but
I don't know who it was, but somebody went to New York University and was asking all the chicks. So they were trying to see if they were, because it's a liberal university. If
anybody had hooked up with him.
Well, if they just would, what they thought about him going there. And like half of them were like, my mom wants me to try and date him.
Because your mom is very smart.
Right, yeah. There was like one who was like, it's not fair that he's here. We had to work so hard. Like, the dude has like a penthouse.
I couldn't handle the pressure of marrying into a powerful family. I couldn't handle that pressure.
Why, Ian? What do you think would happen?
There's just
all the nice clothes, all the drivers.
The nice clothes, the drivers, the schedules, the
hats.
Brunches, the hats.
Hold on. You have a schedule now as a not rich person. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's a very simple schedule. It's a very simple schedule. I don't want to.
I think you sell yourself short, Ian.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to marry into a powerful family.
Melania's got a sister.
Right. You could be one of those low-key rich people.
You just wear sweatpants and never shower.
Yeah. Drive like an old Toyota Corolla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could be sitting in that row with Zuckerberg and Bezos and that wife of Bezos who she looked like the character from Seinfeld who just had the bra on in that one.
Yeah. What the hell was her name?
She looks like she's constantly pressing her face up against glass.
Just every day a little bit more.
Yeah. That's what you have to do to stay good looking.
Yeah. I think Zuckerberg is being misunderstood. I think Fauci was hiding in there. with jabs, and Zuck saw him. Just, I'm going to come out because Fauci wanted to fly out, and he wanted to get a couple more jabs in before he rode away on his pardonship. Chrissy, what do you think about him being pardoned?
Then he gives a statement. I don't know why I'm being pardoned. I haven't done any crimes. It's like, oh, okay, Tony. Why don't you just go off and find more beagles to torture?
I'm gonna go murder all these beagles over here.
So
what a piece of crap.
Doesn't that reaction to the pardons when they say, "Well, this doesn't mean that they're guilty"?
Yes, it does.
Well,
then why pardon them?
Sure, but doesn't it? If it doesn't mean that, doesn't it at the very least? Protection. Doesn't it at the very least mean that it's extremely easy to weaponize the government?
Yes.
I think that's what it means.
Oh, yeah. And that it's all, my God, the Bidens, it's like the biggest, most in-your-face example of cronyism, nepotism. He pardoned.
Wait, what are you talking about?
In the last 15 minutes of his, like literally, as he's closing the door behind him, let me pardon all my brothers and sisters and their spouses. And he did that because if he had just pardoned, I don't know, one of his brother's wives or something, then we would know who to look at for money laundering. But since but since they didn't want people to look at one particular brother or brother's spouse, he's like, let me just do the whole lot of them. Let's hide it all.
I guarantee you that 4-year-old daughter of Hunter that the family doesn't want anything to do with did not get a pardon.
No, because she probably didn't get any money either.
Trump's going to go after.
Yeah, it's nuts.
It's so crazy too because it's just everything is so, it doesn't matter. There's always a explanation on whatever side people think they're right. Like we were just talking before the show, we have these text chains with very progressive friends of ours who just have these like Tourette's outbursts where they'll be like, look at the presidential picture of his ear. There's hair covering it. It was 6 months ago.
Oh, he faked it. He was using blood packets.
Just like in professional wrestling.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hulk Hogan was underneath that podium.
Yep.
Well, props to you for still having liberal friends in 2025. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I try really hard to keep all of them. My West Coast ones have pretty much written me off, but my Southeastern liberal friends, they're different.
You is more the case, not you keeping them, because they're the ones who like to write people off.
But my Southern liberal friends, they're a little more. They'll fight with you and stay your friend.
That's
for
good.
The most part, yeah.
They think there's something wrong with us. And they have to try and fix us.
Everyone's in a cult. Everyone is a Nazi. Everyone is about to throw a white hood on and
absolutely
paint the town red. Yeah.
So we have these two friends that in this one text chain. It's me and our friend that plays Josh on the show. Not plays Josh, that plays Trump on the show. Josh is who it is, and our progressive friends. And the other day they just get at each other in this text chain. They just fight and they know how to piss each other off. So they started arguing about the Washington Commanders and the Redskins the other day. And
what sport is that?
It's football.
Football. The Commanders are football?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the Guardians, the Cleveland Guardians.
They were the Redskins.
Oh, no, they were the Indians, right?
Right, exactly. Right. Yeah, they ruined it. So they start, like I thought they were messing around at first, then I realized that they were really getting angry. And so one of them goes, I have a Native American friend. I'll give you his phone number. You can call him right now. And then the progressive friend goes, I have a Native American friend. I'll give you his phone number, and you can call him right now. And they were both threatening to call and challenge the beliefs of each other's Native American friends. I wanted to see it happen.
Wow.
Hello, is this Chief Brian?
You know, people who feel the need to broadcast like their diverse friends, you know, that they can call up at a moment's notice. Like normal people don't feel they need to do that. I think people that it's like you have some sort of actual racism going on, or you've done some actual bad shit in your life, and you're usually like, look, see, I gave my gardener a really nice tip for Christmas. You're like, and he's Dominican and he likes me, or like my accountant is black and and, see, I'm a good person.
It's a lot of virtue signaling. That's what we ran into in the comedy scene a lot. But I want to talk about.
What about just really quick? Sorry, there was that one open mic. Remember the open mic?
Where it was the LGBTQ gets 5 minutes and allies get 3.
And allies get 3
for real?
3 minutes.
Yeah,
yes.
white guys fuck themselves.
Then the question was like, well, what if the allies get more laughs?
Ooh.
Yeah, then you get more laughs in those 3
then you
minutes.
fucking throw a clan hood on and
do you get more time? Like the weirder your gender is, the more pronouns.
If you are if you relate to nobody in that crowd because you're like a 6'5" guy with long hair,
you get a 45 minute.
Yeah, you get a 45 minute awkward
Wait, you mean
set.
Scott Pressler gets 45 minutes?
Yeah, exactly. 45-minute set talking about his new vagina he's trying to get, like just nothing anybody relates to, and everybody's like snapping like it's Colbert's audience.
Scott Pressler is basically single-handedly to not to blame, but to applaud for registering Republicans in Pennsylvania. Like he and just a few other people basically gave Trump the state. They worked their asses off.
Isn't that crazy?
Yes,
and
the iconic long hair.
Yeah. And he's homophobic. He's going to take all the rights away from LGBT. Yet, meanwhile, Trump is dancing to the YMCA with the Village People.
The gays are so upset that is his theme song.
Right. He doesn't give a shit about any of that. It's all
the only friend of mine from the West Coast that still talks to me is my gay Trump supporting buddy.
Ooh.
The only one.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Do people know he supports Trump?
Oh yeah, he's very vocal about it, and he's a huge Washington Redskins fan. I swear.
He probably calls straight people faggots.
He does. He calls everyone a faggot.
Yeah, that's how it used to be back in the good old days.
He's hilarious.
Remember the 90s?
I know.
We didn't know what we had.
We all got along.
Mm-hmm.
Chrissie, so you were at January 6th, obviously, and just 4 years ago. You were not arrested. You were not arrested. You didn't go inside, right?
Mm-hmm. I didn't go inside. I was there to do man on the street interviews because I had been to the 2 rallies prior, and I was covering it like I don't know, like a citizen journalist, I suppose. And I just wanted to check it out. And I think the FBI somebody called me from some organization, but people I know got visits to their homes, and people I know got arrested and had horrible things and scare tactics and served time. And now, like, my gosh, they're all pardoned. Basically, like 99% of them have been pardoned,
except for the ones that murdered cops, right?
None of them murdered cops. The cops had
cops that died.
The cops had heart attacks. That's what I hate.
Yeah, that was telepathy. They did it with their minds the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, being someone who is not insurrectionist adjacent, I guess we could call you since you didn't go inside. How does it feel to see, some of these people, you saw them, you saw what happened that day? And from the videos that I saw, I think you shared some with us on the show, and some other people that were there shared them with us. They looked like a bunch of old people and like Asian people, like chilling and milling.
Old people, very much milling around. It's so sad. Like, these people lost years of their life, years with their family and children, and lost jobs and money, and it's so sad. It's and I can't believe how many years have gone by already, but it's so cool that they can get their lives back. And it's just criminally unfair that Summer of Love, they all got to do what they did. They basically nearly burnt down the
what do you mean
White
by
House.
You say they?
The they people. I mean, like the Antifas, the Pussy Hat Gang.
Yep.
Yeah.
They get to like mill about the Capitol whenever they
Trump's
want.
First inauguration in 2016,
when the women were wearing the giant vagina costumes and walking around with
all that
kids.
violence back then.
Yeah, these
insane.
people were like definitely bamboozled. Like, they were all in there thinking, like, if they had known they could have gotten arrested for that, they wouldn't have gone in. These are just like people.
Absolutely.
There was very much like field trip energy there that
they're
day.
In a movie. They think they're in a movie.
And the provocateurs, there's a Council on Foreign Relations clip of them talking about the Black Ops propaganda, undercover ops guys that were in there doing shit that's been online for like 3 years. I played clips on the show multiple times, and they do the same thing with Black Lives Matter stuff. They have provocateurs that go to all these things, but when you say that there's provocateurs there, they act like you're crazy, and then they turn around and they tell you that, they're a blood splatter expert and that Trump's ear, they've analyzed it. I'm open to conspiracies, by the way. I just haven't heard, I got to hear good arguments for conspiracies, but it is interesting to me to see the reversal of people who called anybody who questioned anything before a conspiracy theorist now being the conspiracy theorist questioning things without evidence at all now because they're no longer in power.
Yeah, everybody's kind of like, not everybody. A lot of people on the left are sort of like recalibrating and not really admitting like, oh God, like we really were trusting the mainstream media this whole time. Like, but they can't really admit it. They just have to quietly be like, oh shit, what do we do now?
I'm so stupid. I'm a stupid fag is what they need to say. And they just need to move forward. That's what I think we all have had to do from time to time. So that you did a special live from Jan 6 based on your experiences there. Mm-hmm. What was it like for you afterwards, just for your career and just the way people treated you simply for going to the Capitol?
God, horribly. I never expected it. I remember I could only get one tweet out when we were walking to the Capitol. And by the time I got cell service again, when it was all over and we were walking back to our hotel room, I go, oh, wow, one of the kind of well-known bookers in the New York comedy scene quote tweeted my quote, like on our way. I don't know if I said marching or storming or we're on our way to the Capitol. Like if I said storming, it would have been tongue in cheek. You know what I mean? Like, because at the time it's like, again, it's like a parade. It was a planned march point. It was nobody's like, it wasn't like Braveheart. Yeah. Nobody had like sticks with fire on the top. It just was like, we're going over here now. And it was a quote tweet of this booker saying like, oh, I don't know what the comics in LA are up to now, but in New York, they're storming the Capitol or something like that. I think I said on our way to the Capitol. And then this person quote tweeted like, oh, the comics in New York. Like comics, it's literally just me. Like it's just me here and my friend that I know from YouTube. And ultimately we found out there was like one other comic who was there that day who ended up going inside and they got like a picture of him. Like it was a very sort of like, yep, that's you. Just horrible. And then there was like a whole initiative. People would be, I had a good friend of mine message me to say like, just letting you know, Chrissy, like someone just messaged me saying, hey, I see that it was on Facebook. Remember Facebook, the place where you go to check up and see how fat everyone from high school has gotten. She's like, somebody messaged me saying, hey, I just want to let you know, Chrissy was at January 6th and you're friends with her. You should probably unfriend her. So there was a whole initiative going on to get people to unfriend me from Facebook. There were
the sleuths. Again, they had a name for them. I can't remember it, but they these indivisible activist groups. They named these groups and they like rewarded the narcs. Out there, very proud of themselves. This is what they did with their time. And God, like articles coming out, like we need to make sure that we blacklist any comedian who was at January 6th. Make sure they never get booked in New York City again. And again, it was me and this one other dude. Like that's some blacklist, I guess. So it was like the Old West, and there was wanted posters of you and this other dude.
It felt that way, and it's like instead of message me or call me up and be like, "Hey, like acquaintance, friend, I'm confused about why people were there that day. Can you enlighten me?" Or like, "Hey, I'm nervous," or "I'm scared that you were there," or whatever conclusion you jump to. Like nobody reached out. Instead, it was like, "Hi, I'm Brooke. I did improv with Chrissy 13 years ago, and my God, she's really changed." And I'm like, Brooke, you didn't know me then. You don't know me now. I haven't even thought of you in 13 years. You know, it's all these people come out of the woodwork when you're kind of being canceled, when your name is in lights or whatever, because they want to raise their profile. Right. It's really just about them like making the most of the opportunity to be known. It's actually like not even something to take personally. It's like, oh, everyone's saying, oh, this is my chance to dogpile. It
says more about that person.
Yeah. Yeah. And so there were a lot of people like that coming out of the woodwork. Oh, she's really changed. And it's like, who are you? You stood behind me in a bodega once 12 years ago.
She's like, can you order the avocado with toast?
Yeah.
And we know what that means.
Who are these people? And it's never anybody doing better than you. The comics making, and then there's, God, every year some comedian makes this is the racist list of comedians that are never to be booked. And then you look at who writes the list and you're like, well, this person's not getting up at any clubs. They're not headlining anywhere. So they're
not fun. They take themselves too seriously.
No, as they say, the boos always come from the cheap seats. You never get somebody like this trying to cancel you who's doing better than you. Usually,
Didn't you have an incident when you made a transgender joke? I remember seeing in the New York Post.
That was my latest. Gosh, what was that? That was, I think, last summer, because I remember it happened like right before my wedding. I think it was summer of 2023. And I was at a show, and the topic of Dylan Mulvaney came up because my very good friend jokes that she looks like him, and she was opening for me, and we're like, oh, like, why has it been all these days of girlhood and still no tits? Like, Dylan Mulvaney has nothing but time and resources, all the money. Could get them for free if he wanted, and still no tits yet. And somebody, oh my God, literally, I have baby spit up on my shoulder. I just noticed it. I didn't even. This is like filthy. I'm wearing a filthy shirt to your podcast. I'm so sorry if you see a pile of puke or an avocado.
It's mom life.
Mom life is humbling AF, yo. Like, as I try to think about like what jokes I'm going to write for this next stage of my life, I think like, what's the funniest thing about being a mom? And I'm like, how my body looks now. That is funny. It's just very, it's very real. Shit got real. Anyway, it's fun. I recommend it to everybody. What was I saying?
You're talking about the joke where you got
so
joke.
So
in trouble.
I was like, why no tits? And then some fat slob in the audience was like, because she's a woman. And some guy was like, no, she didn't get them because he's a man. That was first. And then the land whale was like, no, actually, she's a woman. I'm like, it's okay. It's America. We can all have different beliefs. Like, some of us can believe in reality. Some of us can't. Like, there's room for all of it, And then there was like three, and it was a table of like 200 hundos, 250 maybe. And I thought the whole time, I'm like, do I address them further? Do I just go on with the rest of my set? So I go on with the rest of my set, and like towards the end of it, they end up storming out of the room. Like, they finished their food first,
as well as they could storm.
Then they stormed out, right? They made sure the last tater tot was gone, and then they were like, this is how brave these land whales were. Just as they were about to walk out of the door, they're like, fuck you, transphobe. And I was like, what? And then it was a very
on the way out.
Yes, it was on the way out. And it's not even like they left as soon as they were offended. Like, it was a while later. And I hope
chicken bones fly out of their
mouths. I hope they tipped the waiter. And they ended up pushing all the merch off my table before they left. They complained to the manager about me. And that was the day. Well, you always should record your set when you do stand up, as you guys know. But thank God I caught that. Not only on my camera, but like they were perfectly lit, like they were in view. So that was.
Do you think they came there to heckle you?
I don't know.
Like, why are they at a comedy show?
And why would they? Surely, like, the host and the feature have a similar sense of humor to me too. So it's like, how were you not triggered by something said earlier? And also, like, did you just, maybe they got free tickets and they saw like, oh, female comedians, this is right up our alley, we'll go. And maybe they thought it was gonna be something totally different. But do I think they came? I don't think they came there on purpose, because if they hated me out the gate, you'd think they'd be like picketing outside or calling the venue trying to get the show canceled. I think they really just thought I was going to be like a liberal female comic, and they got like the opposite.
They got blindsided by that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. How did you, if you were having bookers and stuff, trying to blacklist you after that. How did you go about putting shows together? Did you just produce them yourself?
What did I do? I think I just started going on the road more and headlining across the country. I just was like, well, because that was obviously January of 21. And then when did the mandates happen? Did that happen the next year in 22? I think, right? De Blasio was like, well, you need to have a vaccine to have a show or go to a show. So I was like, fuck this. I'm not going to perform anywhere that does that. I made a big stink about that. I made a big statement like, who's coming with me? Let's not perform anywhere that mandates the vaccine. Oh, nobody. You're all just going to use fake cards and just do whatever shows that you can do. I'm out here with my thumb up my ass like an idiot. Okay. It's just me then. Okay. All right.
Never compromise. I think that's the big lesson that we've learned in the last 4 years. Don't like all those ex-military guys, that are now back in the military with back pay for getting kicked out.
Yes, good for them. How
good
cool.
for them.
Yeah.
Come on, stick to your guns. 3 years back pay is coming your way.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's not giving in to cancel culture, because if you apologize, they just see you as weak.
Right?
Never
and you
appease
didn't,
them.
like,
You just have to give them the big middle finger and just keep saying "fuck off."
I realized I was like, I'm gonna look like such a hypocrite if I don't make this stand, make this stink about it. It was my soapbox issue, and
that drew audiences for you. Like, that helped you grow doing that, being bold like that.
I think so. Ultimately, like, it was a real ding at first. Like, because this was at a time where I was like, wow, I guess I'm just never going to eat at a restaurant in New York City again. Like, I mean, I've been to most of them, and wow, and I knew I was still going into the city to do my my show at Compound Media at the time. And I was like, okay, I know I can go into this coffee shop and get coffee, and this sandwich shop to get food, and I guess I'll just get back on the train.
You got a hat down.
I know there are places I can get. 2 places I can get food in the city without having to show a Vax card. So I was like,
somebody's handing you a sandwich or saying, you can't tell anybody I brought this to you.
Yeah. Smuggled it in. It was such a tense and squirrely time. And it was amazing to see how quickly people just folded. And I knew that I wanted to try to get pregnant. So that's why I was able to like really stand up for it. Cause I was like, this shit hasn't been tested like that. I don't want to get it and then not get pregnant and be like, well, shit. At least I can go have now. At least I can have a Kung Pao chicken, or whatever. So I'm glad it worked out. But yeah, to answer your question, like when you really lean into what you believe and make a stink about it, that is when you find your true, people you want to collaborate with, your true audience, your tribe, I guess. So it worked out.
Yeah, absolutely. Ian, did you have a question?
Nope.
No. So you mentioned Compound Media. I was looking at your Wikipedia earlier, and I didn't realize that you founded the Proud Boys personally.
Oh my God! Yes, in my spare time, I founded the Proud Boys.
Yes,
how could I forget?
by, stand back, or whatever it is.
Stand down, stand by. Yeah.
It's funny, like, because they very quickly. Wikipedia, it's just information, it's unbiased, yet every single time it just goes straight towards like reading off of CNN or MSNBC.
Or what, like someone who hates you, they get to write it all,
I was hoping that when Trump, after he got inaugurated, he would go, Proud Boys, march.
Right.
That would be the first thing you say.
Or he blows like a literal dog whistle, like, hey, Proud Boys.
Yeah.
And
So,
like,
that is what they have been talking about today. I can show you guys a clip. MSNBC, I learned that the pardoned J6ers have the opportunity now to become part of Trump's paramilitary.
ooh.
Yeah, it's a very exciting opportunity. They're going to get to run the concentration camps. Rachel Maddow had this guy on to tell people about it. I mean, this stuff to me is hilarious. I don't understand how people take it seriously.
It's wild because they can't give up. They can't admit to being wrong.
They can't. That's exactly what it is. They cannot admit to being wrong. They're so used to being told that they're the smartest, most moral person in the room simply because of the way they vote.
or how much education they've had.
Yeah, or and they're so connected to it. It's bananas.
And everybody in their circle is just everyone's yes-anding each other and
a gay improv shit.
It's like
each
a
other.
gay improv troupe. Yep.
And they don't realize that Matt out here is an actress who just is on a show that's pretending to be not nonfiction. She's actually the radio. She's in Batwoman. All these people have theatrical backgrounds. They just masquerade as journalists when that's not what they're, the propagandists. And here she is.
Joining us now is Timothy Snyder, professor of history at Yale University, the author of both On Freedom and On Tyranny. Professor Snyder.
God.
Yes.
I'm really
he must be right about everything.
Very credible, absolutely.
Oh my God, Yale!
I'm not even here. I appreciate your time.
I already believe him.
My community college years can't even prepare themselves for this message.
Both on and Tyranny. Jeez.
Of course. One of the things that you warned about On Tyranny was the marriage of paramilitary force with the state.
Is that even
you
legal?
Said when a leader.
I don't think so. I think that it's
parasexual
military. It's exactly what Pete Hegseth doesn't want.
Yeah.
Essentially can activate not only the power of the state, but also an unofficial paramilitary force that is loyal to him, but that is deniable, that can do things that the government doesn't have to answer for. But that's among the most dangerous situations that an authoritarian can create. Can you elaborate why you think that is, and does that relate to today's commutations and
Rachel.
Ian coined the nickname for Rachel's penis neck.
Yeah, penis neck. She's got the most
Wow.
turgid penis neck. She looks like a penis
What a great
with a
use
wig
of the
on
word
top.
turgid. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
That's an SAT
So
hot word.
the basic legal function of the police is to allow the law to be enforced. And of course, we make mistakes. Police officers make mistakes. It's imperfect. But that's the logic. The reason why the police are allowed to use violence is that we are governed by law. When you take another group that's not the police, which is not part of the state, which is not governed by law, and say this group can also use violence, then you've changed the nature of the political regime that you're living under. There's maybe still the police, but then there are these other people who aren't the police who may also hurt you or kill you, and they're not governed by law. And then there's a history to this, which is that if these people if these groups are created, if they're allowed, for example, to oversee camps, which we might well see very soon, then they get
to oversee camps is what.
That's a stretch. Yeah, let's have the Proud Boys who can't even separate their colors and their whites, who may not even have fitted sheets on their beds. Yes, let's have them oversee camps.
They all get a camp.
God. Yeah.
We did a lot of man on the street stuff throughout the past year, and one of the ones that Ian and I did, we infiltrated a sign holding Stop Project 2025 thing, and I had a rally.
Yeah, a sign holding.
Yeah, they go stand in the middle of a busy intersection, and Ian had to pull me away a couple times so I didn't get hit by a car. But I had on a White Dudes for Harris shirt, and we were both pretending to be gay. And they loved us.
Did you really have to pretend?
Well,
Not really.
Natural.
We just stood next to each other, and they were like, "Oh, you guys must be a couple."
You're with us, absolutely. Yeah. There's this one old lady who had to be 75 years old, and she was very, very sweet.
Sweetie.
She might not have been sweet if she knew that we were gonna cut together a thing where we were making fun of them later, but she was sweet in the moment, and she was playing the drums, and she goes, if Trump wins, they'll round people like us up, and I'm in my head. I'm like, what, 75-year-old widows, white liberal women,
right.
And she said, I have a folder of places that I'm trying to figure out where I'll move to if he wins, and I'm just like, you better send that to me, girl. And she's like, give me an email, and she believed that Trump is really going to go after her, and shit like this is what makes them believe that.
And they flatter themselves. Like, look, unless you're a Train de Aragua raping criminal, like that's who he's gonna go after first.
Get me the grandmas now.
The illegal criminals, okay, and then maybe just the regular illegals if there's time. They're not gonna. Yeah, exactly. They're not gonna go after some 65-year-old art history major, a women's studies minor. I was a women's studies minor, but
Really?
someone with like a canvas NPR tote bag. You're safe, Susan.
It would have been
okay?
very funny if on day one Trump was like, I want all the 75 plus feminists rounded up right now.
Yeah.
And I want the shaman to lead that camp.
They're right. You get that camp. Wow.
I think Matt L adds a little tag here on this.
Habit. They get a taste. They get a certain set of skills, and then they get.
So they get a taste of it. So and they improve their. This is obviously leading to the Nazi SS.
What's infuriating too is this guy speaks about it as if this happens all the time. I saw it happen in my neighborhood last month.
Absolutely, dude.
Right. This is happening in Yale's college campus.
Yeah, Matt Al said in another clip earlier, she was like, "This is a textbook, authoritarian playbook 101." I'm like, how does she know so much about this textbook?
Yeah, she's got it. She's sleeping.
Yeah.
Mein Kampf is on her nightstand.
We'll see very soon. Then they get a habit, they get a taste, they get a certain set of skills, and then they get more and more interesting for them and more ambitious assignments and become more and more important in the society. So the next step is that you're going to see, I'm afraid, these people be deputized for tasks like deportation, or these people to be regularized, normalized as part of the way that we get used to violence being deployed.
How is that different than just hiring additional like police? Do you know what I mean? Like, and by the way, like our military and probably other factions have been pretty like gay and trans. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people were fired for not taking the jab. So
Right.
Isn't it Trump's prerogative? Like, let me get the most competent people together to do this.
The theory of this that Matt was elaborating on tonight was that now that all of these J6ers know that they are above the law, she was behaving as though the pardon is for all future crimes too, and that they will be beholden to him, and that they will become this SS Nazi paramilitary. Wow. I think she alludes to something after this here. She's very good at doing this. I tell people
to believe her and freak out. Like these people
Absolutely.
want to like weave chaos into the general public.
It's like torture. It's brainwashed torture. What she's doing to this old 75-year-old woman is elder abuse, in my opinion.
In our country. Yeah. And then we're no longer pretending that we're a country of law. And as you already said, the problem with what's already happened is that these people have been instructed now that the law doesn't apply to them in the same way that it applies.
Yeah, there it was. That's what I was looking for.
I got a real problem with this phrase. We hear all the time that we're a nation of laws.
Not anymore.
We're a nation of rights. That's what we are. We're a nation of rights.
Yeah.
Not a nation of this whole thing. We're a nation of laws.
The right to have your pronoun recognized.
We know that all the rights we have are moral, but we also know that that's not true about all the laws. So it just pisses me off.
Isn't theft breaking the law?
Right.
And if we were a nation of laws, wouldn't all shoplifters be go to prison?
Well, it's my right to have somebody else's stuff if it's in a store, and I'm upset about somebody who overdosed on fentanyl.
We were founded on rights, not laws.
Well, they say that to make people fearful.
That drives me crazy.
I would like to be in the brainstorming session of an MSNBC. I don't believe maybe this guy believes some of this stuff. I don't believe for a second that Rachel Maddow believes any of this. I think that she just knows, just like I don't think Jake Tapper believes any of it. Jake Tapper went to film school. Jake Tapper won an award, and like $2,500 from the Press Association in Washington for putting the term Russia dossier in our political vocabulary.
Wow.
They're all a bunch of con artists. I think the people they manipulate believe this shit, but I don't think they fucking believe fucking any of this shit.
They're puppeteers.
Have you had any of your friends or any of the people who were trying to blacklist you come back and change their tune now?
No, but they've also kind of fallen off the face of the earth as well. It's like they were comedians who were barely relevant to begin with, and I just sort of like blocked them and moved on. And I don't even know if that one booker is still booking shows. It's like, I'm so, at this point now, these people are like such crumbs to me. I've gone on to such like bigger and better people and things and opportunities. It was kind of like one of these meant to be best, whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And it was a good challenge to be put through.
I think it's a lesson. I mean, like I said, I talk about you occasionally on the show because I think being bold and not giving into that shit is something we should all aspire to be instead of this.
Sure.
The whole woke progressive shit, it's just a way to try and cripple people to have to meet these ever-changing standards that don't make any fucking sense, and that you can be called out if you if you have an accident. So this comic that I knew who was all of a sudden a woman, but looked the same to me, just was wearing a dress, and I would see him, and I'd be like, "Oh, dude, oh fuck, man, shit, dude, oh god, man." Like, so he wasn't a dick about it,
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be a dick about it if he's not. But my brother, his stepdaughter, said to him when she started working at Starbucks, which is it's not good news. Said, "My friend got kicked out of her house. Can she come stay with us for a little while?" And he said, "Yeah, sure." And he comes home from work that day and he sees his stepdaughter and a little Chinese boy dressed like a woman who has giant fake plastic tits on, who he would just leave them laying all around in the middle of the floor.
Oy. Yeah.
And they would get mad at them for misgendering them. And my brother's kind of a square, so I thought the whole thing was hilarious. But it's just a way to hold people hostage, and I'm glad
is.
That's exactly what it is.
It is. It's like it's a way for weak people to bully others, and they have no other merits or accomplishments.
Totally.
So it's a way that they can feel.
My response back
themselves.
is usually like, "Well, you told me not to give a shit about such a small percentage of the people, so I'm not giving a shit."
Yeah.
Hell yeah, yeah. And then you go after them, Then they want to bait you. You don't really go after them, but they try and manifest this reality to get one person to do something crazy so they can brand everybody as that one.
Right.
I did it. I love improv, good improv. It's just so much bad improv.
Oh, so much.
So much bad improv.
Bad.
But
I lost my watch.
Years ago, I hadn't done a show for a while because honestly, I was kind of afraid to be back in that world with a lot of these people. And we're going up to do a show, and someone goes, "All right, guys, let's check in. Let's circle up and check in."
I experienced
That's
this.
the clap.
Yep.
Zip, zap, zap.
What's crazy though is
changed it,
these
though.
are all people I've known for close to a decade, and what they start doing, they go around in a circle and they go, "All right, everybody, just say your names, your pronouns."
I remember this.
And anything else you want to share with us. And
what your
right next
boundaries
to me,
are.
my friend John looks at me. He goes, "My name's John. I'm he, him." And I look at him, and I know he know. I look at the look I'm giving him is like,
never.
"I can't believe you
You're
just
like,
fucking
why
did
did
that."
you just do that?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he
Never
looks at
do
me, and the person to his left is looking at me, and I look at her. I'm like, "Fuck this! I'm passing it that way." So I made them go around the whole circle, right? And it got to me, and well, by the time it got about 3 in, I said, "Wait a minute." I go, "Hey guys, are we doing this? Because I know everybody in here. Nothing's changed, right?" And then one of them went, "Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. We do all know each other. Yeah, this is kind of." But I'm like, we've all know each other. I know that you're a he, him, and you're a she, her, and this is fucking crazy.
It's the person who came up with that idea. Like, let's go around and say our pronouns. They just did that so that they could feel good about themselves.
Absolutely.
She works for the CDC.
Ugh.
Yeah.
And that same night, she was bragging about how
I know
they
who you're
had-
talking about. She's in my class.
Yeah.
Ew.
She was bragging about how they had a drag queen come to her 4-year-old's birthday.
Was it Down syndrome drag queen?
No. And she goes, this is how she delivers it. She goes, because that's a thing people do.
Yeah. Best lap dance I
No,
could
it's
have.
not.
I know. And that's what I said. I go, well, most people get a clown.
Yeah.
And that didn't go over well at all. Lead balloon in that.
What I like to say to them is I like to kind of just walk by them, look at them, and I go, "Dude, stop thinking the N-word, hard R," and they'll just kind of walk away.
Yeah.
And then they start thinking it,
Yeah.
and you get really in their head, and then you get them in a warm up, an improv warm up, and I've never seen so many progressives say the hard R. like just they want to get it out. They want to say it so badly because they're the racist ones.
Uh-huh.
And then they go and they start posting about how they're the Wendy's that burned down. They're doing a white.
Oh my God!
A white
They're doing a
fence.
white wall.
Chrissy, they did a white wall around this Wendy's that burned down because a guy got shot because he took the cop's taser. It was another national news story.
Okay.
And so they burned it down, and then all the white people held each other's hands while the black people cleaned up the.
Oh boy!
It's
Wow.
crazy.
My friend said that they should have let him run away with the cop's taser because they could have just gone to his house and gotten it the next day.
Or got it from a pawn shop.
Wow. What happened to living in a nation of laws?
Exactly.
Well, those laws are applied unevenly. What about Whitney Cummings and like Zuckerberg and all of them? Trying to have a redemption arc. I know Whitney was on the New Year's thing, speaking things that people like us have been speaking for a while.
Mm-hmm. People have given me shit recently about like, oh, Chrissy, can't just people change their minds? Can't people change their minds? You changed your mind. You were a liberal, and now you feel differently. I'm like, that's fucking 8 years ago, but okay, go on. My point and I don't know if you know this, but I was publicly critical of Whitney Cummings, not because she changed her mind. Yeah, there's part of the people who were saying these things and putting our neck out and losing work and friends and all sorts of stuff over this stuff. Like we kind of laid down and let everybody drive across us. Like all right, we're the ones in the spotlight that are not putting up with this shit. You do feel a type of way like, okay, I'm glad it's so safe for all of you now to come out and now you're just being trendy by liking Trump.
Absolutely.
And like, yeah, you know what? Good for Tony Hinchcliffe. Okay, I didn't think he was right winger, but you know what? Who wouldn't turn down Madison Square Garden, MSG rally gig?
It was
good
easy
for Whitney.
at that point
Who
in time.
wouldn't turn
Yeah,
down a New Year's Eve gig like that, even if it was on CNN? But it's like we could have used you guys 4 years ago. We could have used a couple more household names fighting the fight. Like most people don't know who the fuck I am, but people knew who Jim Brewer was. Eric, was it Eric Clapton?
I think Clapton
he
did.
Was somebody who famously said, "I'm not doing it. I'm not performing at
and
places."
Van Morrison and those guys. Yep.
We could have used a few more bigger comics. It would have made a huge impact. Guess what? Like we all got there. Like, and it's because of the people that did stand up is the very reason why we don't have vaccine passports right now. And I don't think people realize like how close things got, how bad things could have been. And
I was kicked out of hospital. Like I was not allowed. I mean, I ended up getting in anyway because my mom was sick and I was always in hospitals with her and my dad before then and during then. So I dealt with them asking me if I was vaccinated all the time, saying no, and then telling me they're arbitrary rules. One day you can come in, the next day you can't. And it's just such bullshit. And I'm glad people come around to it, but you're right. We're the ones that paved the way for people to do that.
And it's also like hard to believe that someone who like Whitney is around my age, and it's like it's not like you're in your 20s and you have the excuse of being like dumb and in your 20s and like you're right out of college or something. It's like I go like we all had access to the same internet, the same Alex Jones, the same, you know what I mean? Like the same info, more or less. How is it that some of us figured it out and some of us didn't? It's
they just want to fucking go along to get along, I think. And she also, I saw her tweeting recently where she's like, people have been getting on to me about being a conspiracy theorist. And she was saying, she was saying, I still make fun of these conspiracy theorists. And I'm like, go fuck yourself.
Not a conspiracy theorist. She's saying it as a buzzword. She's trying to just gain an audience, and which she'll go around and be like, oh, name a conspiracy theory. That doesn't make you a conspiracy. Like, show me a Sam, like, let me see the Sam Tripoli side to you. Like, if you're a conspiracy theorist, go off on why Tom Hanks is a pedophile. Like, go off on why the earth is flat. Like, go deep into some of these and then I'll believe you.
Yeah, so again, you and Tripoli, a lot of credit to you guys because you guys had a big platform during a lot of time and you weren't afraid to speak out. So Everybody check out Chrissie's work and check out
this bishop that they had on there.
Did you guys see this
part? I see people retweeting this, but I don't.
All right, you're gonna love this, Chrissie. This is so retarded. I mean, you can tell, right? Like, can you imagine you go in and you see this as the bishop speaking? Like, you got to know it's coming when you see this bishop here. This is the inauguration prayer breakfast, by the way, for those listening.
So this is before the actual inauguration?
I think this was, it said that it was this morning.
Trump is wearing a different tie than he wore at the inauguration.
I think this is this morning. Okay. I think it was after the inauguration. So a lot of people are focusing on J.D. Vance's reaction to this. We can go watch it a couple times, but it's not just J.D. Vance. It's everybody trickling behind him has the exact same reaction, and you guys will know it when you see it.
In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now.
Oh, God.
There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic,
look at JD Vance.
Republican, and
it's right there. JD Vance.
We're not supposed to pay attention to him.
It's not just JD Vance. You see, like behind him, you start seeing.
And families.
Like everybody's like, now there's John Jr. to back.
And you know what? They're all going. The camera's on you. You can't make the face that you want to make right now.
Funny.
I think his daughter does it too.
Who fear for their lives.
They can't help it. They're all trying to lean over and whisper. Barron just shifted a little bit.
Are you fucking kidding me?
This is great.
Trump is just like, don't move a muscle. Don't blink any extra.
He such a pro.
He is. He really is.
There she is.
And the people who pick our crops and clean our office
the slaves, you mean?
Labor in poultry farms and meat packing plants, who wash the dishes.
You know, all those transsexuals and lesbians.
You know what? Everybody thank your gay cotton picker.
Cotton picker, yeah, that's right. Oh, my God.
Oy.
After we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals, they may not be citizens or have the proper documentation.
It's fun, too, because she's combining this with the immigrant thing. Like,
yeah, oof.
Yeah.
Are there a lot of trans immigrant children?
Give me a break. You were arguing about the people who pick your crops. You want slaves.
And why are trans immigrant children picking your crops?
So gross.
She's standing up for a hypothetical what if group.
Who's going to wash my dishes?
Not totally. It's like maybe one of these people that exists. Frighten Me says Melania's scowl. Man, Melania's got that scowl down.
Yeah.
But the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals.
They're trans.
They pay taxes and are good neighbors.
Do they?
They are faithful members of our churches and mosques, synagogues, wadara, and temples.
And comedy clubs.
I ask you to have mercy, Mr. President, on those in our
Mercy?
communities whose children fear.
Because he was going to kill them.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Now he has to call off the, or what is it, the Order 66.
Yeah.
The
No more public
paramilitary
guillotines.
Proud Boys.
He has to call off the Proud Boys and say, oh, no, actually, you know what? Don't kill any brown person you see.
Two steps forward, one step
rape
back,
them,
Proud Boys.
okay? Just make sure you rape them.
What a
Fear that their
stupid,
parents will-
like, arrogant misunderstanding. They're just so intent on misunderstanding him, and like their confidence in themselves is enough to convince other people this is actually were Trump's intentions.
I think this person is a true believer too. I think that they sat at home, and by they I mean they.
What is with all the theys just want to be Harry Potter? Just another
Totally,
version
this is a
of
magician.
Harry Potter.
He's gonna
boy.
poof. How did this
He's
person
definitely
slip
a
through?
Hufflepuff too.
Yeah, yeah.
They is a humble puff. How did they slip through? Because all of the other stuff seemed to be pretty hand selected, but somehow they get this former
This
Starbucks
chick-
barista.
Yeah, she's either way off book, you know what I mean? Like she just threw away her prepared speech. Or,
Totally, yeah. It'd be funny if Trump was like reading along with it. Well, it was
be taken away. And that you help those who are fleeing war zones and persecution in their own lands. to find compassion and
A
welcome
Dana
here.
Carvey character says,
Oh, we are live right now. I
Our God
thought this was
teaches
a
us.
pre-record.
No,
We
it's
are to be
live. Yeah.
merciful
Fuck.
to the stranger. For we were all once strangers in this land. May God grant us the strength and courage to honor the dignity of every human being, to speak the truth to one another in love,
The truth.
and walk humbly with each other and our God
Yes.
for the good of all people, good of all people in this nation
And the trans babies.
and the world.
Except
The good of all people and gays.
Yes. And the cotton picking trans immigrant
Down with
children.
Whitey.
Wow.
I wonder what this person's home life is like.
I think cats are involved.
Lots and lots of cats.
Well, I am a cat person, so maybe
Ugh.
I can get along.
Don't go around telling people that.
I
Ian.
am. I saved one. I rescued a 4-week-old kitten, and he's my best friend.
Just because you rescued it doesn't make it any better.
It does.
It's still
it
a cat
does.
in your house.
Yeah, well, I have 2. Barney
Uh-oh.
and Fred. Barney and Fred. I am a cat. I'm a cat.
All right,
dude.
it's got to
Sorry.
stop there though, because once you get a third,
All right.
Then-
Okay, yeah.
Just
Then you
got it.
become. Then you become this pastor,
Mm-hmm.
Then
this
I become this
bishop.
pastor.
then Alex Stein has 8 cats. 8.
I had a dog. I had a dog for
8
22
cats.
years.
You know they're addictive. They're like their
Yeah,
smells.
that's what I'm saying. I understand too to have a friend for the other one, but once you have 3, then you have a problem.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't planned. I was just a 1 cat kind of guy, and then this little kitten was dying, and it was in front
Sure.
of me.
You saved it, but it saved you.
Yeah,
Right.
that's why I look at him sometimes. I go, "Who saved who?" And I put a little whipped cream on his nose.
Oh, that's
It
cute.
says save the trans immigrant
That's so
children.
cute.
All right, Chrissy. I know you got to run, so I got one clip, and then one special guest wants to say a word to you. I'm
Ooh,
gonna pop
special
in
guest.
just for you. But this is Colbert. I know you talk about Colbert and Kimmel a lot. I love covering Colbert and Kimmel because it's the worst comedy you've ever heard. It's it's
horrible.
snaps. Is what it is. Not actually.
The clapter.
Yes, exactly. This is the end of Colbert's set from last night. And he's really sticking to this one talking point.
The Bible thing.
I don't like that he gets so close into the camera. When did he start doing
It's
this?
weird.
Yeah. Well, he's in your
It's-
living room,
Yeah.
and he
Yeah,
wants a
ugh.
snack.
I feel like he's a true believer.
He's about to sniff you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
point. That stormy joke. Today represents, I believe, a turning page for all Americans. Whether you supported Trump or not, no matter how much we think we know what's going to happen over the next 4 years, we don't know. We all have to look at the president with fresh eyes and let go of all the things that he did during his first term and look to the future. Right,
What?
Mr. President?
2020, by the way, that election was totally rigged.
He told us to inject bleach, and I still believe there's a pee-pee tape. Russia, if you're listening,
Wow.
let the golden age begin.
Okay, so that was when the applause sign went on. I think they ideologically, I think you have to pass a test to get into his crowd.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Who's,
They
who's
probably,
funnier?
They probably quiz you while these people are freezing their
Dude.
asses out in January winter in New York City. Like, hey, they're just, from Ohio looking for something to do, but they go, who did you vote for? And
I guarantee they do a social media check. There's no way they would let anyone like us in there because I would get thrown out heckling them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Wow, there is something nice about being able to say 2020 was stolen again.
It really, I want Trump to continue saying that for his entire. I think 2020 was stolen. I've had the Garland Favorito done a lot of work in Georgia on the show on a regular basis, actually exposing stuff, and they demonize him. Is that why you went to the Capitol on the darkest day in American history?
Well, yeah, I think the rally was called "Stop the Steal." One of them was. I don't know if it was the November one or the December one, but there was I guess it had to have been November. Because it was Stop the Steal. It was right after the election, and Yeah, a lot of people were upset. A lot of people just felt like their voices weren't heard.
But it was the most secure election in American history, which is
So
very
secure,
unmeasurable.
so fortified.
And all those people stayed home this time because they were too tired or something.
They couldn't do it this time. So, Chrissie, thank you for joining us
Yeah.
tonight. I'd love to have you on again.
Oh,
There's so much more I want to
yes.
talk about with you.
Please.
But I do want to have a special guest here,
It's
Mr. President.
Trump.
Hello, Brad, Ian, Chrissie. It's wonderful to be on to see you tonight.
Chrissie
Oh
was
my
there on
God.
January 6th, Mr. President.
Trump, I love you.
Hey, I love you too. I love you too. And don't we love America? Don't
We
we
do.
love America?
It's the best.
You give me a shot at Melania, Mr. President?
We've talked about it, Brad. Now it's starting to become a bit.
You're busy. I'll take her off your hands.
It's getting insulting, Brad.
I'm sorry, Mr. President. I won't insult you with that anymore.
It's my wife you're talking about.
Yeah, you don't want them
Very-
to send the Proud Boys after you, Brad.
That's true. The Proud Boys, you're paramilitary.
But it's been so many years now. They're proud men.
They've
Good
grown up.
point.
They've all
Good
grown up.
point. Yes.
Mr. President, is this?
Mr.
Are you
Trump,
Yeah, I'm here.
going to have some camps that you're going to give each Proud Boy?
can I be in charge of a camp?
Give Chrissie a camp.
Please give me a camp. I'm going to be in charge of the gingers.
Yes, round up
yeah.
the gingers.
We're gonna round up all the gingers. That sounds like fun.
Look,
make,
I have-
make gingerbread.
It's you hugging the flag. Remember?
We were posing for that statue, Mr. President.
That's a beautiful statue.
So, Trump, Mr. President, are you going to separate all the people you round up by hair color?
Yeah, we're doing it by hair color now,
Okay.
Ian.
Okay.
Do you still plan on proving that you can get postmenopausal women pregnant?
I mean, science can prove a lot of things.
Yeah, yeah. Are you okay, Mr. President? Are you tired? It's been a long couple of days.
Yeah, he had 3 different balls to go to the other night.
How was Nelly, by the way? Good gracious,
yeah.
ass-bodacious.
That Nelly, very talented young man.
Yeah, he's. I think he's probably mid-40s or
he's
50
probably-
at this point.
He's
Well,
probably
you know, he's
exhausted.
still a young man to me.
What was your
Still a young
favorite
man
part
to me.
of the inauguration day, Mr. President?
The village people.
Of course, they're very straight.
You know, that was a lot of fun to have them doing their YMCA.
Yeah. Did you get to
Love the
see them?
YMCA.
Have you ever been to the Y with the village people?
No, I haven't been to the Y with the village people, Brad. I know you have, though.
Oh, look at you, Mr. President, taking a shot at me like that. Well, Mr. President,
Funniest president the world's ever had. So
You're the best.
I was going to ask you, Chrissie, who's your favorite comedian?
Oh boy. Wow. God, it's like picking a favorite child. How do you
You got to pick one. You got to give the rest to the.
You got to get rid of the rest of the kids.
it's a Chrissy's choice.
It's so hard. I really like Jim Brewer. I think he's a physical comedy
Yeah, he is.
genius. And
Yeah.
like we watch Seinfeld every night as we go to sleep. And like
too.
Michael Richards, I know that he did the thing with the thing. But as Kramer, another just physical comedy, absolute genius. So I think I'm in a physical comedy
yeah.
appreciation space.
Chevy Chase, physical comedy, a little bit.
Yeah.
Not like Michael
Yeah.
Rowan
Richards, though.
Atkinson? You ever go to
Yes.
Yeah,
oh.
yeah.
And he's based, I believe, the Bean, Mr.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Nice.
We have somebody, Chris here says used to be Bill Burr.
No, it was never Bill Burr.
I think
He
was,
looks
yeah.
like an evil genius. He's like getting fat. He's rich. He's very out of touch now. So
More angry than funny.
he's made it. Yeah. He thinks that the California wildfires were handled well.
Right.
Did you
Yeah,
see
yeah.
that clip? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you talked about Luigi in that also. He was pro Luigi.
Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Seinfeld. I can rewatch Seinfeld start to beginning to end over and over again. It's because nothing good is on TV anymore. I think stuff is
Yeah.
coming back now.
Tires is good. Check out
I've been meaning to get into that. Also, obviously, Norm Macdonald, like
he's
great.
Great.
For so many reasons.
Who have you performed with that is your favorite comic to perform with?
Ooh, well, I mean, I opened for Mark Normand years ago. He's awesome. One of the best.
He's funny. Yeah.
He's so funny. Oh, thank you, Frightening. Yes, once the baby stops nursing, I will be getting back out there.
Yeah, you'll have to let us know if you tour around the South, or I don't know where your home base is.
I'm in New York.
Okay, so come down here. Maybe we'll find a spot and we'll do. I'll do a show together. We're in Georgia,
Atlanta. Ooh, oh my gosh, I was in Savannah.
I'm based in Washington.
And we know, Trump.
We know.
I was in Savannah a couple years ago. First of all, it's beautiful, and there's this place called the Wormhole. It's kind of like a hole in the wall, like a dank sort of bar with a stage. I loved that place. That was cool.
Yeah, I'm familiar with. I know a lot of people who played that room, but yeah, come down here. We'll do a show, or we'll get a spot, and then we'll see what your availability is, and we'll get a show together.
Cool, for sure. Yeah, let's definitely stay in touch on all that.
Tell everybody where they can find you, Chrissie, and direct them wherever you like.
Well, you can find me breastfeeding 5 to 7 times a day until my boobs fall off. Yes, follow me on Twitter at Chrissie Mayr. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Let me know if there's somebody you want me to interview or have on. Also, watch my Sunday night show, Simpcast, on 9 p.m. Eastern every Sunday. And then I'm on Friday Night Tights every Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern on Nerdrotics YouTube channel.
Fantastic. And guys listening, is always a number of pretty ladies on Simpcast to check out. So
always. Some people just listen to it on mute, and I'm fine with that too.
Force Mommy is a guest of yours.
Yes. Yes. Jessica's great.
Yeah, she's a guest on the show. She's awesome. Doing a lot of great work up in Colorado. Thank you. Fantastic. My mind went blank because I'm retarded, I think.
Same.
But we're going to go propagandafight.com is the website. Ian, tell everybody hello. No, that's not. Yeah. What's your Twitter profile?
Yeah, Hello Covello is my Twitter profile, or you can come check me out. Remember,
Hello Covello?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just make it your name, Ian.
That is his name.
Someone took it.
Oh.
Ian, hello.
His name is Ian Covello.
There's another Ian Covell, and he plays rugby in New Hampshire.
God, an asshole.
Sounds basic.
I've had it forever. I've just had it forever.
All right. I guess it is kind of your name.
We'll deal with it. Now, Mr. President, would you like to direct whitehouse.gov or?
Yeah, the new whitehouse.gov, it looks really good, doesn't it, Brad?
It does. It's very theatrical.
Yeah, I like the theatrics.
Yeah. we know.
We're in the final act of the film.
Hey, how's Barron doing?
Yeah.
This is the
everybody
third arc.
loves Barron. Everybody loves Barron. He's
I love
9 feet tall.
Yeah.
You saw that video with him, didn't you?
We did. Yeah, we saw it. He's very, very tall. Was he
9 feet
Was
tall.
he handling Elon? Was he Elon's babysitter?
Oh yeah, he babysits Elon a lot. You know, Elon needs somebody looking out for him that's responsible.
Elon ever ride on his shoulders like X rides on Elon's shoulders?
You mean like no, Elon might ride on his shoulders, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
You know, Trump, you sound a little bit like Artie Lang.
I'm not Artie Lang.
You could. That is an impression you could do if you wanted to do it.
Yeah, after you're done with the presidency and you're starting a new career.
Yeah.
I'm not Artie Lang. I do have a friend who looks a lot like Artie Lang, though. A lot like him.
All right, thank you,
and
guys.
It's not me. I'm not talking about me.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Sure.
Sure, Artie.
Look, I'll have the Secret Service visit each of your homes.
What for?
Yeah.
For whatever I want.
Ooh.
That's like a good time, Mr. President.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Yeah. Is Melania in the Secret Service?
No, Brad, she's not.
All right. See you guys later. Thanks again, Chrissie. Y'all check
Thanks
out
for
her
having
work.
Me. See you
Yes,
guys
you're
soon.
welcome anytime. I'd love to have you back on because
definitely.
I want to get. I would love to have you on again to just play some clips and have you react to some of the stuff, because we play a lot of clips like that, and I think that you are great at reacting to stuff like that with us.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'd love
Let's
to
do it
that.
again.
All right, we'll talk to you guys next time. Y'all have a fantastic rest of your day.
Bye.